They
It's
are.
not like my
One
truth.
thing I ain't never met a Trump supporter that like facts, dog.
What's good, y'all, man? It's your boy Rilla with Black with No Chaser, man. And we bringing y'all live and direct. First time you hearing this, man, the Unbought and Unbought tour, man. Directly speaking to black men out there and really black people in general, man. We cutting through the noise to amplify real voices of black men, not bots, this election. All right. We're hitting the streets to make it clear that black men can't be bought, and we have something to say that matters on what matters. And central to this entire campaign, man, and podcast is really got one question: is what does this got to do with me? And me being you, black man, me being me, us on this actual stage here, is what it got to do with me. And what it is: politics. A lot of us think that politics doesn't really like affect us, our everyday lives. We could just stand back and just have some kind of cognitive dissonance about what it is, that it won't affect us, but in fact it does, right? So either you're gonna get in the game and play the game and figure out a way to actually impact your community, or you're gonna stand by the wayside and let it just affect you, and you can be crying and screaming like, damn, what's happening to me, right? So why does this matter? Black men have undeniable voting power. Don't let the bots and the bought folks tell you otherwise. All right. Many of us, though, do feel disillusioned, right? Overlooked and disconnected from the political process. And again, though, that is not because the truth is being spread. It's about lies, disinformation, and misinformation, right? I want to say it again. Black men are disillusioned and disenchanted with this political process because of lies being spread. And we're gonna roll out facts and talk to you more about why that is the case. But we really just want to kind of state really broadly here for y'all about what the problem is, man. So again, welcome to the Unbought and Unbought podcast, man, and tour, man, brought to you by Black with No Chaser. This is your boy Rillo.
TY.
CJ. Chuckster. Man, thank you for that beautiful intro. For real, Rillo, to the Unbought and Unbought tour, podcast, all this shit we doing together, bro.
That's right.
I'm excited about it, man, because it's needed. Because misrepresentation is real and misinformation is fucking real. Okay?
Really real.
It's really real. It's so real I had to cuss about it. I apologize for that. You know what I mean?
I know when you hit the F-bomb, you know, it like
man, it's real though. I mean, like, so what I mean, like, a lot of people here are saying bots and bought and things like that.
Yeah.
And they probably thinking, like, what are bots anyway, man? And the reality is bots are a form of propaganda, just like any other form of propaganda that has existed throughout the history of time, throughout the history of warfare, where they take your communication systems and they twist them up and they turn the people against one another.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what we're seeing happen in this election. And we've seen it happen in the last, at least really, really loudly in the last 3 election cycles with Russian misinformation and Russian bots and on Twitter and on Facebook. And it's the same type of misinformation that leads to people basically believing a number of things. It can lead to you believing a hurricane can be made from a weapon.
Hey, y'all remember though, real quick, man? Y'all remember when like people thought Black with No Chaser was controlled by bots?
Yeah,
y'all remember that?
man, I remember that. You remember when Facebook used to make us like literally put our ID information
Up
in?
at the bitch say what?
Yeah, like your driver, like we had to upload our driver license pictures in order to prove we was really, really black. But that brings that you make an excellent point though, because there's a lot of digital blackface going on, and those things are bots. You know what I mean? And we gonna really, really get into it. But there's loads and loads of research and information that's showing just how people are being impacted with this type of misinformation.
So I'm sorry to cut you off. I thought you was done, but what is bought? Like, I know we're gonna talk about the unbought because we unbought, but like, what is bought in this political kind of arena?
Are you saying we're trying to we're gonna call some people out that's been bought, or
let's
start there?
Let's keep it topical. Let's keep the general definition of what is bought? Like when you bought, what it looked like?
I think when we think about who's bought or what does bought look like, and it's been happening for a long time. What they have figured out is if I give one of you something, then I can elevate you and make you above and all the rest of this. And then now you my puppet. And now you my puppet, and you're gonna say exactly what I want you to say.
The loud minority.
Right. And then that becomes a loud minority very quickly of that. So this is the same thing that we seen. So now in today's sense, they buy us, and so we could talk about the famous people who've been bought, but we could talk about the influencers who have been bought. We can talk about all those that are out there, but there are also people who sit left to right of us who are there in the community with us who are bought too. And it happens on a low, very, very local level of that. And I mean, look, I'm gonna just say, I put out there some of these churches that folks go to. They get them in there, they bring them in there, they giving them this. They're the only black person there at the church, the only black family there at the church, and this they're being bought quickly because now their opinions about the rest of us have changed. Now their concerns about the rest of us have changed. Now those are the people who are bought, because now you can tell that they're bought because they have no concern about us. They typically only concerned about themselves, and they promote self over anything else. And when we talk about the whole community, now they start talking at the community. Those are our bought people. But I know we're gonna jump into it and put some names on some folks out there that we know, or at least very have a good suspicion that they have been bought.
Yes.
So look, let's start naming some names then, man. Well, I mean, like, all right, let's see.
You want me to say one? Lil Wayne.
Damn. Ooh.
Lil Whiskey.
Weezy
F Baby.
We go in to talk about Black Lives Matter. We go in to talk about the different things that have happened in our community, and they have went to Lil Wayne and asked him to respond to it, and he ain't saying nothing. But yet, still, he don't mind going and taking a picture.
Lil Wayne imitation right there.
I think
that was my Wayne imitation right there.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Hey, I wasn't even expecting that one. That one kind of caught me off guard.
Hey, my bad. I know that's your home.
Hey,
your
man,
homeboy.
I know. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? New Orleans folks.
We from the crib,
look,
but
I rock with Wayne, but I have to point him out because he's somebody who's very influential to us in our community. And when he doesn't care about these things, when he doesn't show up and he doesn't say anything, and he has the audacity to go and stand with Donald Trump at any point in time, he's been bought. And I don't care if he's sliding money in his pocket like this or he's doing whatever else. That's bought.
Wait, but didn't
because he tried to protect his money?
Who got pardoned?
Yeah, I guess.
I think he got pardoned.
And Kodak Black got pardoned.
I think he was one of the ones that that Trump slid out of there right before he got.
I mean, I just want to say
and
this.
That's how he was bought.
I'm about to say that bought don't mean just always dollars and cents, right? Now, they was bought and had to play a role for their clemency, right? For their quote unquote freedom. And but like, I mean,
who else bought though? What, Sexy Red?
Damn.
Hey man,
Sexy Red.
And look, man, listen, bro.
Who had Make America Great hat as her big prop on stage? It was like a gigantic hat.
Wait,
a lot of people be you know what? Let's get into it, because let's talk about being bought for the misinterpretation and misinformation of a $1,300 check that a lot of people often give Trump credit for. What the stimulus check, right?
Bro, I had no idea that this was that Sexy Red did that. Go ahead, keep going.
I mean, okay, so what she had though, it was this is a XXL covered it. It was a Sexy Red received mixed reaction for having a Trump-inspired MAGA hat on stage. So it said "Make America Sexy Again." But again, this goes back to like these.
But she said it in an interview straight out. Like I vote for Donald Trump. I like him. I'm paraphrasing and messing it all the way up, but she pretty much advocated and talked about supporting Donald Trump.
But I mean, I think that part of it too is like, I guess, like to your point is like, it's like you're still constantly feeding into the red hat MAGA movement itself. So even if they
Yeah.
don't know if it says exactly, even if they don't know it, the conservative folks can take that and be like, this person is
Right.
with us too. So they
Well-
can juxtapose it and kind of shift it and frame it in a way where, so now something that was really kind of benign, if you will, or kind of I guess from her standpoint, maybe, I don't know, I'm just saying, just let's say for the sake of argument, it was, she didn't mean it to be aligned with Trump,
Oh,
but by
she
her,
did.
yeah, what, and I think part of it too, so that part of it, okay, this is the bought piece too, right? And really it's kind of interesting about this idea of being bought is a lot of black folk and people in general, right? Not just black people. This is in general. About when Trump was in office and these STEMI checks came in the pandy. You know what I'm saying? The pandy in the STEMI got 1,200, no, 2,400, whatever the amount of people
Indeed,
got.
yes.
They believe they got it from Trump, right?
Right.
And in reality, like, they got it from Congress, right? And so
Right.
Congress cut those checks,
And
not,
Trump delayed the checks.
and
Trump
Trump delayed
delayed
the
the check
checks. That's right.
in
That's
order to
right.
be able to put his name on them
Put
for the
his,
purpose of misinforming
Of
the
marketing.
people so that they
Yeah.
would then attribute receiving that from him. But
Yeah.
if you really, really think about it, and I'm not trying to poo-poo additional $1,200, but that's literally $100 a month over 4 years ago. If you take that from 4 years ago to, to now, that's worth your integrity, that's worth your uh liberty, that's worth voting against things that actually are
wild.
within your interest. And I think that's the, like, when when we start doing the math ain't really mathing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you take it over a per year or a per day basis, like, it ain't worth that, bro. It's really not worth that. And if I may, y'all, like, the unbought and unbought part goes even deeper, because now you got a lot of black folks with really, really big platforms that aren't just entertainers, but that are influential in the social media space as well as the podcast space. And that's what's being utilized to spread misinformation to black people. In this way, blackness is being used and weaponized against black folks and against black interests. And that's dangerous. It's extremely dangerous because when you really, really take it into consideration, bro, like, this is something that's happening um in a very real way. You've seen it with Candace Owens, where she was propped up and she was platformed by the Breakfast Club. I think some other people might have also had her on their podcast.
Yeah. When you run the like, you go down the hallway
Yeah,
and your publicist gets you in the position to say, all right, you gonna go on the Breakfast Club and then you gonna make this run. Who are some of those other people? Because I mean, we gotta at least call them out, man, so we can get on down the road and get to something else.
yeah. I mean, well, Joe Budden's podcast platform and has talked about issues that's been unclear to people.
I,
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess, look, I think that, to be fair though, like, you know, I think it's like there's two folds to this, right? There's a
Okay.
purist, if you take it from a purist journalism level of whether or not they'll have a person on their platform, right? The Shade Room was on CNN, I believe, or MSNBC, talking about interview they did with VP Harris. Well, the
Mm-hmm.
brother, the investigator, per the journalist, was asked right on the spot, will you have Trump on there? Now, I don't really think that they won't really send the invite. But I think from an actual ethical standpoint, right?
Yeah,
You
that's
gotta
both
be able
sides, yeah.
to open up to say, hey, look, if we're gonna hear this side, then we gotta kind of invite in a way. Now, granted,
Can I keep
you can
That
can I
it.
keep it black with no chaser
I
with
about to
you?
say,
In
yeah.
that BJ got in hot waters for that as well too, for
inviting Trump, but
That's
inviting
actually,
Trump.
exactly what I thought about.
Yeah,
I think it, but in reality, I think it kind of backfired on Trump, because I think that when he showed up and that black woman stood on business, I think that, like, it was it was a moment of, once again, him kind of like, I guess, showing the world who he really is. Now, some people will say, I know what y'all gonna say, hey, bro, we just gotta get this dude off the platforms. It's just free press for him. Just keep peddling the same things, gonna be peddling over and over and over again, right? But it's like, I mean, he gonna get it anyway. Like, I mean, because Fox News alone is gonna make that happen, dog. I think they got enough followers by themselves, bro. Like, and so I don't know what the. Here's what I do know: we need more Black voices amplified. That's what we need, right? We're talking about we like, that's what we need. The powers that be will make sure their folks are heard. We got to make sure that if a Candace Owens is going to be on the Breakfast Club, right?
How do you balance that out?
They need 1, 2, 3, 4 Black with 10 Black with no chases, 15 Black with no chases to come in to combat and confront what she has said. Because the problem is that you got a Candace Owens come in, and then here go another just Joe Blow celebrity who ain't really talking about issues of the day. And then now the last thing they heard about politics was what Candace Owens just said. And so it's not the Candace Owens being on there, it's a saturation of the real shit versus the bullshit. Like, it's kind of like you need
but I think in so many ways, because we started Black with No Chaser, and with Black with No Chaser, you know, we do say your Blackness is safe here, and we're talking to all Black people, right? We're talking across the spectrum, and we know that all of us don't have the same beliefs. All of us don't see things the same way. We have different worldviews, different perspectives, all of those things there, and there are a certain amount of our people in our community who just, no matter what we say or do, they're just not gonna see it like us.
Yeah.
They see it totally different. And I do think that we have to figure out a way within our society to coexist with those people as well, too, because at the end of the day, we need harmony. And I think one of the things that we continue to see now is this division. Now, there's a division now, the Democrats, Republican. You stand on the side, you stand on the side. Now we get into our communities on Black people, where historically only we were Republicans back in the day when Republicans were fighting for our freedom. When it came down to it, Abraham Lincoln was a Republican, and so were a lot of those others that came along. And they even Dr. Martin Luther King, when he come along, he was a Republican, until you get into the Southern strategy and Barry Goldwater and how that and how that all flipped. And then you got on the same side. Now we're Democrats, but what we have been closely aligned to is whoever in the federal government can come in and protect us from the states who believe that they had rights and they owned us, and it can subjugate us in different ways. This is what we historically been dealing with. So we have been pushed on this side and this side, back and forth, until now we have divisions that are coming down into our own communities. If we are the small minority in which we are still, we even look at the blackening and browning of America, and say the browning of America, Hispanic population is now about to be the number one population, and Black folks, we still gonna be at 15%, right? So we are splintered down the middle in our community, and I'm not gonna say it's down the middle; it's just a little faction of that, but they're still part of our community.
Yeah,
right.
I want to get into. I'm sorry, Ty.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to get into some of the numbers because I think the numbers are important when it comes to the 2020, excuse me, voter turnout.
2020.
Hey, the Pew Research stats show that in the 2020 Black voter turnout, overall 58% of eligible Black voters participated in the election. Okay, so it's a small majority, but that's a majority. 58% of the people who were eligible to vote did vote. 64% of eligible Black women voted. So almost 2/3 of eligible Black women voters voted.
Yeah.
54% of eligible Black men voted. So over half of the eligible Black men voted. Support for Joe Biden as the Democratic candidate for president. Around 90% of black voters, 90% of black voters supported Joe Biden. 91% of black women, 80% of black men. So that's 90% and 4/5 of black men. 4 out of every 5 black
Not
men.
4/5.
4 out of every 5 black men voted for Biden, voted
Yeah.
Democrat. So
And
we don't need to be persuaded or given presented with the okie doke, right?
Right.
They're hitting us with the trick bag when they start telling us shit like, okay, all of a sudden, all these black men are
Right.
coming this way, and that's the misinformation. That's the bought piece. That's the bot piece, and they're amplifying that on these platforms in a very, very loud way, and those things get what we call aggregated and shared in these echo chambers all across social media, all across certain spaces, and that's how this misinformation becomes what people think is the reality of what's happening in the world.
So the
and look,
question
I was about
remains.
to say, I want to add to that very quickly. I think that a
Go ahead.
lot of, and it was a recent poll that came out that this idea that black men are abandoning the Democratic Party, right? And it's just not true. In fact, the polls actually shown that there was an uptick in really for Harris, as the top of the ticket. So CJ, what you alluded to was or pointed out that was 80% of black men. This poll came out, and we're looking at more about 85%, 83 to 85% of black men are looking at Harris and selecting and supporting Harris as the next president of the United States. And so again, the numbers are negligible one way or another. So I think that again, this idea, this is disinformation, misinformation stuff, right? Is that I'm gonna keep talking about this. The loud minority be having folks thinking that it's just in droves, black men are just leaving, right? They had this one sister, man, we was talking to, and she was like, she's seen some brothers in MAGA hats. Now, you may have, right? But again, though, we're talking about a small sample size of what we're talking about,
Yeah.
entire
Yeah.
population of black men. And so you're never going to get everyone to vote this way. I think that we all can agree to that. I think that again, the purpose of Unbought and Unbought is to understand just that black men are not a monolith. We're not going to always vote the way you want us to vote, right? This is not about a Democrat or Republican thing. This is about cutting straight to the heart of everything and getting down to what black men care about.
And what's in it for us?
And what's in it for black men, making real demands, right? It's not just registering to vote. It's
Us
not
and
just,
our community.
yeah. When I say us, I mean, because first of all, again, we talk to black men and
We
black
are
men.
black men.
Yeah,
Yep.
we talk to black men, and we know that at the core of us, we don't talk about what's in it for me. Yes, it's personal, but personal to us is my family and my community straight. And if
Right.
my family and community not straight, then I ain't straight with you.
Right.
And I
Right.
think that the tension here is that our communities aren't seeing the investments that the top is saying that we're getting. And again, I think that things are happening. I think it's just a lot of fucking terrible information out there, and it's really to a lack of promoting the goodwill that's being done as well. So I mean, like again, we'll get into some of that, but I would just want to set the record straight that this idea that black men are abandoning the Democratic Party, and that's not the case. But that's not really why we're here. But just want to set the record straight on that.
Absolutely.
I think it's important. I mean, I'm glad that you are saying that. Honestly, the reality is that we as black folk are voting in our own interest or voting for the majority part. We are intelligent when it comes to the political arena and landscape, and we tend, when we vote, to vote in interests that reflect our interests. And so that's something that is critical to understand. It's not that we necessarily vote Democrat because we love Democrats. We're voting.
Saying that, brother. Yes.
Yeah, like we're voting for what protects us. And like Project 2025 is a very real thing, bro. If you have not seen it, believe me, we're gonna be educating you on it on the Unbought and Unbought tour. When it comes to what it got to do with all of us
Because
as a community.
understand that Project 2025, most of what it's aimed at is dismantling our communities, dismantling the economic help that we've had in our community. If we talk about some safety net, they were fine with a safety net when it was just for white folks, but when it became safety net for Black and brown folks, now they need to get rid of it, right?
Talk about
These
it,
are the
dog.
things that they are trying to do with Project 2025, and they want to make it look like they're about family values and all the rest of this stuff. But nah, at the end of the day, they want to dismantle our families. This is why the attack against Black men in the way it is, or we're getting incarcerated at the levels where we're getting incarcerated. This is why the war on drugs happened. This is why those things continue to happen. But this is also why we're looking at maternal health with our Black women as well too. So we're looking at that they even stopping us from being able to replenish our population from all of the damage that's being done. Now they're killing us at birth. So it's so many different things that are attacks against us. If we look at Project 2025,
you just said shit so real, bro.
Project 2025 gives that a platform for all of that to happen. And last thing I'll just say, that I'm passing it off, but about Project 2025, and I tell people all the time, because that, you know, from being a former labor organizer working with public sector workers, understanding that in the federal government, 20% of the workforce are Black people, right?
Yeah.
Getting to this Black women. And these are the bearers of our families. These are the breadwinners of our families a lot of times. So they are the ones who are supporting and keeping us there. And if they dismantle and take their jobs from them, that cripples our community. And we know what they're going to do, because just look at what happened in the post office. Look at what happened in the post office under Trump. He put that idiot in place who had any clue about running the post office, had nothing, fired a whole bunch of people, people quit. The whole post office just went to shit during Trump's time in office. They want to do the same thing again throughout the whole government.
So look, I think one of the things that we definitely got to focus on here now, like we've talked about, like a lot of the problem, like what are some of the ways that we can actually balance out some of this? And I think it's what we're doing here right now. How do we duplicate the Black with no chasers of the world? How do we amplify the Black with no chasers of the world? Like what are some of the other trusted sources and people that we can direct folks to, that where they can get some good great information, like solid info? Like who are those people? Who are the us's of the world?
I mean, like without naming everyone, but I mean, you got the conscious leaders of the world, man. You know, I think that brothers like him and sisters like with the parking lot, my name is
Leanne,
but I mean, like, I love her. I think that bro, she's dope, bro. And I think that all the accolades that they're receiving because they've been like true to themselves and like and actually being a trusted messenger, right? And being consistent and showing up for our communities, even when the issues are actually very, very, very critical. Even we're talking about what's happening with Palestine, right? Like, but one thing I hear from like a conscious leader is that I can be very critical, right? Love is a very like, love ain't just always about, you know, flowery like things. Love is like deep, it's critical, it's authentic, it cuts you to the core. Sometimes you may not like what somebody's gonna say. And like, but I think that like this is why we have to find and always lift up our messengers, bro. And whether it be a platform like Black with No Chaser, whether it be the conscious leads of the world, right? I think that anytime we got an opportunity to do it, we should do it because we know that dollars don't always flow to us first. But what we do have is a share button on Instagram, right? Last time I checked, we got a share button on Instagram or Facebook, or we got a retweet on Twitter. We got I don't know what they call it on TikTok, but you know, there's ways in which we can make that happen. And I think that we got to try to do that at all costs. So
well, Rillo, I think to Chuck's question, no, something funny there. But to Chuck's
sounded so uncleish right there. I don't know what they call it on TikTok.
I don't know. I really don't.
What them young folks out there on the tickers tops.
Go ahead, T.Y. My bad, man.
But no, what he said in there, in essence, that I think always, and I elevate this above anything else, is love.
Yeah.
Love is the solution. It's always been a solution. Stevie Wonder wrote a beautiful song. He said, "Love's in need of love today." Right? We need to love enough for it to grow, for it to
Yeah.
continue to spread out. Because love means we're gonna elevate each other.
Right.
Love means that we're gonna bring us to the forefront, and we're thinking about each other. Because love is not something that can be self-contained. Love is something that happens throughout everything. Right?
Gotcha.
So
Yes,
yeah,
you hitting it. You on the money, bro.
That's
The
what she
reality
said.
is, golly, this boy crazy. Hey, so
shout out to my wife.
so the reality is, man, divide and conquer has been the goal of the bots, and has always been the goal of the bots.
Yeah.
It will attack and attempt to divide black men and black women with misinformation and misrepresentation. It will attempt to divide us along political lines and a whole number of ideologies. But the reality is that for the most part, we understand this race and we running it together. And I think that's the critical thing for us to take away from this. Right now, they're trying to get 5 or 6% of people, particularly black people, probably persuaded to move in one direction or another. That's what this election is coming down to.
Yeah.
5 or 6% swinging one way or the other in states that are critical, that they are calling the battleground states. And
So
if they can do that,
what are the battleground states? Because I think people always saying this stuff,
yeah.
but we gotta
because
put a
it's
name
confusing,
on it.
right? When you hear that shit, you don't know what that means. So you got Pennsylvania,
Mhm.
which is a critical state, and it's got a two major urban cities in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. You
Okay.
got
I mean black.
right, urban mean black. Black folks live mostly in urban areas and urban communities in cities throughout the country. So no,
Now,
I'm
I
glad
actually
you
want to say
said
that
that.
urban also means city. I mean, so like like down, like
Yeah,
so,
So the
but they
rule,
they
the
be
opposite of
calling out
rule.
music urban and shit, bro.
yeah, I've been like, bro, I ain't gonna lie,
Urban
dog. Like
contemporary.
I could
They
be
don't call
hating
that
this shit
shit
with
pop.
y'all, dog. It's like all these words, like to describe.
Well, who the people making them words? Who the people like? You know what I'm saying? Like labeling stuff that.
The
The bot.
bots, the
Yeah,
bots,
bots.
got a real body.
you know what I'm
You got
saying?
that body, yada yada.
So you got Michigan, you
The
got
real body,
Michigan,
yada,
and you got
yada.
Detroit, the blackest city in the country.
Yeah.
You got Milwaukee, one of the Milwaukee and Wisconsin, one of the blackest cities in the country. North Carolina, you got, I think Nevada is one of the battleground states.
Mhm.
Last time
You
Phoenix,
say
Arizona was.
Nevada or Nevada? You say Nevada? What do you say?
I said Nevada.
I say
Las
Nevada.
Vegas, Nevada.
Las Vegas, okay, is what I'm
I
talking about.
definitely,
I say the I.
I definitely say Nevada, but
I say the I
Nevada
too.
is crazy. Nevada sound
Nevada?
That sound
Nevada?
that sound like a black girl whose name is Nevada and she pronounced
What?
it Nevada.
Boy,
Hey,
stop.
Look, not Nevada, man. I don't know. I guess when I lived on the West Coast, people said Nevada more, so I just started picking up on it. But anyway, go ahead. I was just
No, bro. I mean, but like all of these states are critical to the election. And honestly, many states go the way that they go. Georgia, obviously, I forgot Georgia. Atlanta, Augusta,
and also
Savannah.
now though, and by the way though, man, Florida has actually moved more into a battleground state now. Just in recent developments and polls. I look again. You can't believe all the polls. I'm not really a big poll person because clearly they don't be
Everybody
talking
got
about
Yeah,
black
I'm just
people.
looking at
Like, I just don't want to put
but-
this election in the hands of Florida
no,
ever.
Man,
no.
bro, that was our first election. I mean, boy, you talking about some trauma. I'm
But
still
I'm
traumatized
saying
from
this,
that,
I
bro.
think it was moving lately. I didn't say we should just go down there and start hollering at people, but I think that
Yeah, I
like
know you with the FAMU, dog. I ain't
I
trying
mean,
to,
look, people,
I ain't gonna
Hey,
hold you
just
down.
stay
the
big
South
family.
got something to say, and that's another
That's
thing
right.
too. Though,
Is
man.
Florida the South?
I mean,
The Panhandle.
I don't think,
I think that's the shit
I
we should
think
start looking
Miami.
at.
Let my wife tell it. Miami is a state by itself, so that's just
Every
that's
Like
year,
just
New Orleans
every year.
is.
I mean,
yeah,
like
New Orleans ain't Louisiana.
Trump be
yeah,
taking
exactly.
Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? He takes Mississippi, but
You
the
don't take
numbers be
Jackson.
getting closer and closer. He don't ever take Jackson, which is the second blackest city in the whole country.
Hey, Texas moving.
Texas, the gaps are closing in places, and like that's really what this is all about, bro. This power struggle that we're recognizing in a lot of ways is all about them trying to hold, some people trying to hold on to power, and other people moving into power. And that's
who them?
really what
But look,
this
I
misinformation
know
gives them.
I know we want to be able to wrap up soon in this, but even as we looking at this now, the Trump campaign is so desperate to win. Now they are coming over and taking all of the things that different. Now they are even promoting early voting. They're promoting the very things that they work to dismantle, and they want to do. Now they want to promote it because they know that they need those numbers. But
Right.
I'm curious in how that's going to play out in the future, because now you
Mhm.
start to put all this stuff into play. You start to use all this stuff, all the tools that you said were used by the other folks who they were cheating. Now you're using these same things, and now they're using these same things. They're bringing in these talking points. They're bringing the same talk. Pretty soon, both of these parties finna look exactly the same.
So it sounds like in the next show we're gonna be talking about, is the two-party system really beneficial for the American people?
And I think that is, as we begin and we get out there and begin to talk to Black men in these key battleground states, I think
Yeah.
we will hear some of that. I think some of the things that Black men are feeling is fed up with politics altogether.
Right.
But again, though, but okay, so I just gotta say this again. I think that, and look, the recent study by Onyx just came out, man. Literally, the Black far right activist network is spreading the most disinformation in Black communities. So you gotta, so in that, I think logically you gotta assume that, or presume that some of these men, right, and Black folk in these communities are persuaded or dissuaded to get involved, or when they get involved, they
That's
get
right.
involved that's against their interests.
That's right.
And so, like, I hear the sentiment, like I get that. I think that that's in part true too. But I think we just cannot let this moment go by, knowing that there are Black folks,
Yeah.
right wing activists
Complicit.
that are complicit in telling lies. Not even not. It's
The
like
grift is real,
one thing
bro.
to tell your truth, like, you know what I'm saying, like, hey, this is my truth. No. You're telling lies like the earth is flat when we know good goddamn well the earth is round. Like, that's the kind of
Right.
lies they tell it. No, seriously, like that's the
And
kind of
they
lie. It's not.
stand on it too, boy.
They standing on it, or that like COVID-19 happened because like you got these health, like they're telling lies that to me are blatant
Oh yeah,
lies.
I mean they
Like
are. They
it's
are.
not like
Like
it's not like my
one
truth.
thing I ain't never met a Trump supporter that like facts, dog. I'm just being real.
No.
I haven't met one that like facts.
Oh no, because
We seen
one
it on
of them
YouTube.
called me a crackhead the other day in a comment. They was like, "You smoking crack?" I just laughed.
Yeah.
Because it's just funny that somebody would
Smoke
say you
crack,
smoking
don't
crack.
you? Yeah,
You
dog.
know what I'm saying?
Same.
Like facts. I mean, we fighting with facts, bro. And like you is and like ultimately the people that we trying to tap into and the people that we gonna see on this tour,
Right.
all across this country, from all those places that we named, that's what we're gonna see is what the facts show. And the facts show that Black men give a damn, Black men care, Black men are involved, Black men are involved with their families, and we here and we locked in, a lot of us, and we're gonna show up and show out when it comes to election day. Believe that.
And look,
Close
now
it out, Rolo.
I just want to say, y'all, if y'all are wondering where we really gonna be at, we're gonna be in Philly. Philly got some energy, man.
Feel that.
I like Philly. Philly got that.
I
I like
love
Philly,
Philly, bro.
man.
Philly
Philly got
is
some energy, man.
yeah.
We gotta be in Detroit, man. Honestly, like it just we would be remiss if we didn't make us
climate
stop.
change that made it where it ain't even cold in the D no more.
And when we in Detroit, man, we gonna have to highlight honestly the lead issues.
Right.
Yeah. The water issues
Just the
in
water
Flint.
crisis still that exists to this day. North Carolina, we'll be looking at probably Raleigh, Durham area, Greensboro. We're gonna pop in Greensboro. And maybe back to Philly, maybe we somewhere else in between, maybe Milwaukee or something like that.
Right.
But either way though, what we hoping is that when we on the ground here, man, we get to talk to Black men in the most authentic way possible, bro. You could come here, let your head down and know that you with Black with no chaser, man. You not with You're not with fake news. You're not with Buddy. You're not with the Candace Owens of the world, bro. And that, like, you're gonna be heard and you're gonna be seen and felt in a way that I feel like, you know what, bro. We honestly, you know, I think this moment is lost sometimes. That, like, as Black men, we get to hang out and talk to each other like this, and I think that a lot of Black
Yeah.
men long for that. And we talked about this recently about just sitting down and, like, people even get to hear us really talk more about just our everyday lives, and ours ain't always like rosy and peachy, and, like, you know, we got problems too, and we feel the same type of weight from the economy, from the divisiveness, divisiveness, the revisionists that's out there trying to rewrite history, the weight of the economy, bro, the voter suppression, dog. Like, we feel it all, and I think that, like, what we want to get to is really talking about a lot of these issues with Black men as we enter and exit these cities. And so
Yo,
as we
we
close
want,
it out, though,
as we
yeah,
close it out,
as we close it out, we
Praise the
know
Lord.
this, and I pass it over there to that side after say this last part. We know that no matter win, lose, or draw, the election is going to be rested on our shoulders. They're either going to say we won this election as Black men, or it was Black men who lost the election for on the other side. This is typically the narrative that every single time they look at us and put it on us.
I reject that narrative.
I reject that narrative too. And I say this is our opportunity, and what we're doing with this campaign, and well, not with this campaign, but with this tour, is bringing the true voices out, bringing our true narratives to the front, so we can say, okay, this is what we stood for, this is who we are, and these are the things that we want to see done. And that doesn't happen. It always typically happens that they're talking at us. Now we want to talk with us.
I love it,
man. Listen, for the duration of this thing and beyond, as we do this Unbought tour and podcast, please share it. Share it with a Black man. Share it with Black folk. Share it with people who love Black people.
Share it
Okay,
with folks who be lying in your neighborhoods, man. Share it with
right.
them.
Share it with the motherfuckers that always be lying. You know, because we're really gonna keep it authentic. We're gonna keep it real, and we're gonna bring facts, and we're gonna bring truth bringers to our platform to tell the damn truth as it leads up to this. And we want y'all tapped in. We want y'all tuned in. We want y'all chiming in.
that's right.
All right. We love y'all.
See you.
Black with no chaser.